For this problem, the graphs show the amount being paid in Social Security benefits and the amount going into the system. All data are expressed in billions of dollars. Amounts from 2008 through 2024 are projections. Now, in just a moment, we're going to answer a question about this graph, but before we do, it's important to look at both the x-axis and the y-axis to see what the graph is really telling us. Let's look along the bottom at the x-axis. These values are years. So, therefore, in our formula, we're going to let x equal the year that we're talking about. Also, notice the year that it starts. It starts in the year 2004. So that means when x is equal to 0, that corresponds to the year 2004. So therefore, we could say when x is equal to 4, that would correspond to 2008, and so on. Now let's look up along the y-axis. Notice that we have dollar amounts. So the y value is going to be the dollar amount, and it depends. It could be income or it could be outflow, depending on whether we're talking about the blue curve or the brown curve. Notice the blue curve represents the income and the brown curve represents the outflow. In either case, this point along the y-axis, where the curve intercepts the y-axis, would be the y-intercept. Now, keep this information in mind as we answer the next question. Our question is, in 2004, the system's income was $575 billion, projected to increase at an average rate of $43 billion per year. In which year will the system's income be $1,177 billion? So again, let's remind ourselves what we just talked about. We decided that x would represent the year and that y would represent the dollar amount. Since we have an average rate of increase of 43 billion per year, we could think about that as being our slope or our rate of change as 43 in billions of dollars. So we can create a linear equation, y equals mx plus b, and put in the values that we know. We know our m, our slope or our rate of change, is going to be 43 billion per year. So we can substitute 43 in for x. We also know b, because b is just the y-intercept. When b is equal to 575, this represents the y-intercept in the year 2004, corresponding to when x is equal to 0. I'm going to bring back this other chart for just a minute. Here's what I'm talking about. This dot right here in our income along the y-axis represents our y-intercept. So, the question is, in which year will the system's income be $1,177 billion? Well, that's y, the income. So we know b, and we want to know the year when the y is 1,177. So we have these three values we can replace in our formula, and we can solve for x, the year. So let's substitute in for y, 1,177 equals our slope, which is 43, times x, which is what we're trying to find, plus b, which is 575. So we can solve this for x by subtracting 575 from both sides of the equation. When we do, we'll get 602 is equal to 43x, and then we just divide both sides of the equation by 43, and we come up with x is equal to 14. So what's the answer to our question? We wanted to know in which year will the system's income be 1,177 billion. Well, that's when x equals 14. Remember what we said. We said when x was equal to 0, that corresponded to the year 2004. So we need to add 14 more years to that in order to get the time at which the income will be 1,177 billion. So if we add 14 years to 2004, we'll get an answer of 2018. So in 2018, the income will be $1,177 billion.